This is the first time you're seeing it this year.
Yes.
We know that you love the tree hydrangeas, and I was thrilled that we were able to save this one for my show.
Well, I
You know,
was
I get
too.
a little greedy. I like the good stuff. I like to share that with all of you. So can I introduce you again to Philip Watson? Philip is a horticulturist and a landscape designer. He's been bringing the cottage farms and garden collections to QVC, how many years?
This is my 19th
19
year.
years.
Yeah,
Boy,
we started
we have
together.
known each other for a long time.
We have. It's good.
And so I love this because I think the idea of having the hydrangea flowers that you love, but in a tree form, is so special.
And this Limelight is really the finest of the white ones. I have them in my front garden. If you look in my book, on my chapter, these are all in the background, because if you plant these behind your other plants, they illuminate everything, all of the white. And if you've got, say, a dark fence, or if you've got an evergreen screen, plant these in front of that to brighten it.
Oh, I love that idea. So here's what you need to know. This is available with Easy Pay, 3 easy payments. Is this as easy to grow as any hydrangea would be?
It's actually one of the easiest because it's the most cold hardy.
Oh, really?
Of all of the hydrangeas, and this will get 12 to 15 feet tall.
Okay.
So it's a great something to have. And also, it starts blooming in early summer, and the blooms are on there all the way into the winter time. I leave mine, but also you can cut and dry these, and they're just spectacular. Very long lived. Some people say they live to be 40 years. My experience is 75.
Oh my gosh.
Not that I'm 100 years old.
No, he's not.
But I know there's some old ones on some of the estates that are actually in my book that have been there for 75 years, and they're not Limelight. They're the plain white ones. These start off lime, and that's why it's called Limelight.
Yes.
Then they go to the beautiful white, and then they go to pink in the fall.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is what you can expect to have if you follow your growing guides, which you'll get a growing guide that tells you all about the Limelight hydrangea and how to take care of it. Very, very easy. They do need frost. If you live in a frost-free area, this is not for you.
All right.
But all other areas of the country, just perfect, and I fertilize it with acid fertilizer.
Is this a good tree, you know, if I have a dogwood that's kind of starting to like reach its, you know, it's past its prime?
Yes.
Unlike us.
We're hitting our stride.
Would this be a good substitute for that? Does a tree like this still like the shady spots the way
this will grow this will grow in high canopy shade.
Yes.
The same way that a dogwood does.
Okay.
This will also grow in full sun.
Okay, great.
So we have these growing down in Mobile, Alabama. So if you live that far down south, they work fine down there too.
They work good there.
But they're very long lived, and dogwoods will often get a dogwood borer, and they're generally good for 15 or 20 years. This is a great commemorative tree, like when a child is born, or if you've got a spot for just one something. The dogwood trees, they'll be blooming for about 2 weeks. This is all summer into the fall, and the blooms even stay on it in the wintertime. I cut them, I dry them, I bring them inside. They're in vases inside my house right now.
How do I take care of this? You know, like when I'm doing my sort of spring maintenance for my hydrangea bushes, do I do the same thing here?
Let me show you.
If I left these clusters of blooms on the tree, what do I do then in the spring?
Cut them off. And let me just show you the way that it ships out to you, because I'm shipping out a big bare root tree. And you'll get blooms on this year. But imagine that, and you just plant it to here in an average garden soil, in high canopy shade or full sun, and stake it, water it in, then the leaves will all come out here. This is the way it looks in the wintertime. You can cut yours back the way this is cut back right now.
Oh, okay.
This is the time to do it right now.
Okay.
And then leave it alone, because it blooms on new wood, which means all the stalks will come up and you'll have blooms.
Great. Can I do this in a container, or do you like this in the ground?
I prefer it in the ground simply because it does get big, and you don't want to cheat yourself.
Yes, right.
So
I mean, it's absolutely, isn't it stunning? And we're going to show you again, like once this, you know, has been in your garden for a year or two, look how many blooms. You know, I mean, it just
that's
takes
in the middle
over.
of the summer.
Wow.
So think about the trees that bloom in summer. Can you think of any?
No.
That's the
They're
trick
all
with these.
spring, right? Usually spring blooming trees.
That
not
is
this
my
one.
backyard.
Oh, nice.
And so I've got my little fireplace out there, but it's the white that brightens up everything. And see, that's a big silver maple. See the big trunk behind it?
Yes.
So it's underneath that tree. And once these get established, they're really drought tolerant. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
And they really are beautiful. I love these. And that is out near Seattle. And they were up in Vancouver. You see them all the way up in Maine. You see them in Mobile, Alabama.
Yes.
Down in Jackson, Mississippi.
And then is that when they start to turn pink like this?
Yes, yes.
Oh
And
my gosh.
they'll start doing that in late August, early September. Then they go to a really nice pink. And I cut them and bring them inside. And that's what the blooms look like when they first start.
That's the Limelight.
That's the Limelight. So they start off green, then they go snow white, and then they go to the pink. And that gives you
Miss Carolyn Gracie,
Yeah.
who is the queen of hydrangea trees.
She's all about it.
I just have to say, I don't think she's ever met a hydrangea tree she doesn't like.
And that, by the way, is in front of her house. You can't even see the house. She had the house completely covered up, but you get an idea about the size of the blossoms on these, how big they are.
What do I need to know about what I can expect this season? Will it flower much this year?
Yes, you will get blooms this year.
Okay.
And also because this is a perennial from Cottage Farms, it's guaranteed for an entire year.
Awesome.
So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know about that, well, they're guaranteed. And you have everything to gain, nothing to lose. And this is the best of the tree form white hydrangeas. I'm wild about these. The whole background of my front garden is this because it illuminates everything.
Yeah, wouldn't it be pretty up against a brick house?
Gorgeous.
And have the brick in the background and see this, or if you have a beautiful old sort of, you know, darker color to your home, and then have this green that goes to white that goes to pink.
Or a pair of those because they get up and then you walk underneath it. Say if you've got a white arbor on either side of the arbor, and Carolyn has that actually in her backyard, and it's really is a fabulous look.
Neat.
But a lot of the perennial borders and flowering borders that I see here in the United States, they're just floating out there like a little island.
Yes.
And what I do when I designed the borders, which you'll see in my book, behind the borders, I planted these because all of the white behind the flower borders makes the flowers show up better. And then I lined the very front of the flower borders with white alyssum. Then I've got white way down low, and they got white way up high. And those are the sorts of tricks that I do when I design gardens.
Well, this one's special. You know, I mean, Philip has been here since January, bringing us fantastic cottage farm shows.
Thank you.
But we haven't had this particular tree. We haven't had a hydrangea tree like this. So thrilled that we're able to bring you the Limelight in this show, especially when you're getting the opportunity with Easy Pay. This is something that will make a statement. This is something that, you know, for the investment, yes, it's $69. We're doing Easy Pay for you, but you're investing in this not for the next couple of years. You're investing in this to really become a part of your home for the next 40, 50, 60, 70 years.
One and done.
I mean, you know, I don't know that we live in a society anymore, frankly, where your grandparents' home is passed down to your parents, is passed down to you. You don't hear people talk about living in their grandparents' home very much anymore. But when you think back when you were growing up, I think about my grandparents' farm. Some of those plantings they had were so special. They were part of the house.
They were.
Right?
They
That's
really
what
were.
this is.
It is, and it's an old-fashioned plant with a new twist to it.
Yes.
But again, it's one of those things that stays. And also, what I love about this is that you don't have to spray it. There are no pests that get on it. It's there. Once it gets established, it's very drought tolerant. It's one of the lowest maintenance flowering trees that we've ever offered. And I love them. And I'm going to be like Carolyn. They're going to border my entire property. And because it brightens everything. If you've got, say if you've got pines for screening, plant some of these in front of the pines to brighten it up. Otherwise, it just looks like a black hole. If you do the white at the edges of your property will look a whole lot bigger.
Oh, I love it. Here's what else I wanted to ask you. What about soil? Because I know hydrangeas usually like an acidic soil. Is this tree particular that way too?
This will grow in any average garden soil. And you just fertilize it with the fertilizer for acid-loving plants, which we have right here for you. And you can pick that up. This is a great fertilizer you can also use on your azaleas, your rhododendrons, and your blueberries. And if you didn't buy any vegetable fertilizer, use it on your tomatoes.
Oh, great. Well, I know that this is one of those items that a lot of you have been waiting for. Thrilled to offer it to you in the show today, a beautiful hydrangea tree. It's called the Limelight. It starts out this greenish color, then it becomes this beautiful white all summer long. long. Then in fall, it takes on a pink hue. It's on 3 payments of Easy Pay. Your shipping and handling is free. Remember, we'll ship these to you when it's appropriate to plant in your area, and you do have a full 1-year guarantee from Cottage Farms as well.
And by the way, we don't ask questions, so don't get all nervous.
If it doesn't work for you, we want to know. We want you to have great success. Hey, be sure to go online at QVC.com and just type in Cottage Farms to see